Hello everyone and welcome back to our not playthrough, but this time it's going to be the review for Sovereign of Discord. Sovereign got the two expansion. Sovereign of Discord is the latest expansion. I think it's going to be the last one for Fire the Lake, the popular game, the popular coin game for the Vietnam War by GMT Games. Coin games are quite popular, and I think Fire in the Lake is, if not the most, certainly one of the most popular game in the coin series. And I think this is the only game that's got not one but two expansions. Last year it was Fall of Saigon, and this year it was Sovereign of Discord. Also, there was a new bot, the Trunk bot update for the base game for the Fire Lake, a new card-based bot for Fire in the Lake. I've got all three of them. I mean, the bot, the Trunk bot for the base game, and the two expansions, and I have played them all, both solo, which is my main mode of play, as you may have noticed, but also I was lucky enough to play some games of the base game with actual opponents through the internet. And yeah, I mean, the game itself, Fire in the Lake, is a great game. You already know that. And I have reviewed Fall of Saigon. And now it's time for Sovereign of Discord. I have played the 4-player, the 4-faction solo game with a new bot, the Minhumag bot. I was playing Arvin, and the bots were in control of the other 3 factions. Sovereign of Discord focuses on the 1961-1963 years of the Diem regime in South Vietnam, and it is a prelude to the main game. It is a chance for the players to prepare, or let's not exactly prepare the base game. It is a game in itself. The factions have their own goals, and the purpose of playing, the aim of them, is to win Sovereign of Discord, and you win by the usual way for the factions, with some amendments which are particular to the time period. The new element that Sovereign of Discord introduces is strategic hamlets. Fall of Saigon, if you remember, introduced the armor, introduced some armor and some operations considering armored forces. Fall of Saigon hasn't got armor forces, and it's only got strategic hamlets, and they were quite interesting how they play. They change the game. I mean, Arvin has to think how it will place, which may be the easy part, strategic hamlets, in order to hinder the VC's efforts to get more opposition out of the population. But Arvin has also to think carefully how to protect the hamlets from the forces of the VCs. In this game, there are no NVA forces per se, and the US hasn't got any troops. There are some US-led regulars, and there are what in the game they're called advisors, which is US personnel providing support. In consequence, NVA in the US have a rather indirect approach to the game. The NVA try to get their victory conditions by directing, actually, or manipulating, if you prefer the term, VC forces, and the US do the same with Arvin. These efforts are and the commitment of both the North Vietnam and the US are represented by the Hanoi and the Washington track respectively, and how much they can do in the game is actually determined by the position of the track, which can be altered mainly and I think exclusively by events and the game. And the events are great. I forgot to mention the events. I found them very interesting, and yeah. So sometimes the player, well, it's a common theme in most coin games. The players are always tempted to get the event instead of making an operation and stuff like that, and this requires careful balancing if you want to really get a good play of the game. If you want to achieve anything, you can't focus only on one or the other. You need to balance these things out. The coups were very interesting. They don't change the leadership of South Vietnam, but situation they deteriorate regime stability and the situation. I mean, the game starts greatly, I'd say, for South Vietnam, for Arvin, and but as it progresses, we progress towards 1963. It gets more and more difficult. The situation descends really into a more chaotic one. That said, I mean, most of the game, most of the operations and the pieces belong, of course, to VC and Arvin. I think they're quite balanced. I mean, VC can really do stuff and hinder, and Arvin can react, and it's quite interesting. Now, some players, human players, that is, will find the options of both the US and NVA limited, and that's, yeah, they couldn't be any more than that, because the game, all the games in the series try to closely follow the history of the period. They try not to introduce unrealistic situations. So, but I think, well, maybe a human player. If I was a human US or NVA player, would I have fun? That's the question. And I think the answer is yes, because it's always fun to actually mess up your opponents and your even your allies' plans in order to promote your own goals. It's best for players that don't want to get, to get very deep into the action of actually doing things, but prefer to, as the operations are titled, they prefer to direct operations. Yeah, that's that's the idea, the main idea of it. And it requires, I'd say, NVA and the US require a little bit more of strategic thinking, whereas VC and the Arvin are more at thinking more at an operational level. Yeah, maybe that's not exactly accurate, but you get the idea behind it. I mean, yeah, sometimes NVA or the US will just do a couple of stuff, and their turn will be quickly over because they can't do much stuff. However, a well-placed or a well-executed operation by both these factions can really alter the way things go. So that said, I personally I would have fun. Yeah, I think I'd have fun playing anyway in the US, and especially if you're a player who likes to assess how the situation is and just making stuff then happen, or trying or manipulating stuff. Yes, then you're going to love US and the NBA factions. So all in all, I think it's a great game. It's a great expansion to the game. And if you're a fan of the base game, if you don't own Fall of Saigon, which is completely different, it's 10 years later, more 10 years later, but okay. Then I think Sovereign Discord would be a great addition to the base games. It plays smoothly. I love it. The bot also. It runs very smoothly. It is challenging, and the whole game plays nice. I forgot to mention that there were extra cards, extra bonus cards for the base game, which you can use not in this game, but not in Sovereign Discord, but in including Fire and the Lake games, and these add more variability to the base game. I forgot about replayability. I mean, replayability is quite is very good, I'd say, because you only use a subset of the cards. I mean, each time you construct the Sovereign Discord deck, you use half, maybe less than half of the cards included in the game. So you see, you'll need many playthroughs to get to see everything. And the real challenge, and what I think many players would be interested in, is that you can play the whole period, the whole period of events that led to the Vietnam War, and continue through Fall of Saigon to its final moment, to the final conclusion. So of course, I mean, the factions, yes, the players may very well start with this intention, and the game, one of them can win Sovereign Discord and not continue in the main game. And this is something that I haven't an easy answer for. I mean, if a faction wins, achieves their goals, and follow in the Sovereign Discord, would it be meaningful for the other factions to continue into the base game? Well, my purely personal, and not, I can't substantiate it through, because it was my first playthrough. My feeling is that if the other factions, all the factions, are reasonably close, I mean, if to their goals, or not very much behind the leading faction that wins the game, it is feasible. However, the official, let's say, rules say that if the factions don't achieve their no matter what the margin, if no faction achieves their goal, then you can continue to the base game. So I think many players would be interested in this. It would be more challenging, and what happens in Sovereign Discord, of course, has an effect on how Fire in the Lake continues. And there are scenarios. There's a short scenario also, just to prepare and set up the game in a less set way. So it's basically create your own scenario through playing it. That's what, and then you can continue and with Fall of Saigon. Of course, this means, I mean, it is doable. It is doable, and we have seen enough games of the basic game, at least, that have ended with the victory determined not by some faction achieving their goals, but by margin. So yes, these games, of course, they would continue then into Fall of Saigon and fight it out, let's say, and hold the Paris peace talks and have it there. But in any case, there are enough, I think, even if you take each of the games in separation and you play it separately, you play Sovereign of the Discord, play the base game, play Fall of Saigon, it's still a great experience. It gives you an overview of the whole period. So I think it was a game, Sovereign of the Discord, let's return to this. I think it's a game that should have been published, and I'm glad that it has been published. And now the whole series, the whole Vietnam War series, is complete, and I would also love to play it with other players. So if you are into coin games and Fire in the Lake, and if I don't know if it's feasible, but yeah, there are other places in the internet where you can find opponents for the games and in various time zones stuff. But if you're watching this video and you're not aware of this, just drop a note and maybe we can do something about it. So that's all. That was my review of Sovereign of Discords, a great game, a great expansion for the Fire in the Lake base game by GMT Games.